let's start. Welcome to the RE workgroup meeting on June 24th. Let's see if somebody joins late to the party, but yeah, there are a few points on the agenda. Let's start with checking action items from last week, and we had a lot. First one was create concourse team for build packs area. That has been done. Then there was inactive RE workgroup users. Greg had approved it, and yeah, there are no history. I mean, the access rights, of course, only. Then I opened a PR to consolidate the Open Service Broker API repositories into the copy area. It was a separate area before. We will come back to this topic a little bit later. We decided to convert ELSA HA into a short-lived bubble environment for the copy CI. That has been done. MySQL 5.7 removal date was updated by that. And finally, Greg wanted to take care of the Bosch Light pipelines in RE Concourse. Don't know if that has been done.
Yep, done.
Done, perfect. Okay. Then, first thing, a small PR to remove the copybot from the area. I guess Greg has to approve, and you're the only one who can approve that we can merge it. There was another bot, the CF Klieng, but according to a conversation on Slack, this is still in use and should not be removed. Yeah. One ask from my side, is it possible to make some noise with this user, some activity, a commit or an issue or whatever, PR, open a PR by this user, because then it disappears from the inactive user scan. Otherwise, we will see it again and again and again, popping up every month. That would be nice. And then just 1 year silence, and then maybe one bug for this user that can be updated from time to time, and then all is fine. Thanks.
Yeah, it's in our backlog. We'll take care of it.
Okay. Good. Then we have this issue with reducing RE work group costs. There has been some activity. Oh, yeah, lots of reports. So what has been done, we have converted also into a short-lived bubble environment, and we also moved the copy pipeline resources from Europe to US because they are roughly 20% cheaper. That has been done. Autoscaler is still scratching head. No progress as far as I have heard today. I created such a ternary report, which is for me here difficult to open. If I click on it, I have to switch users, so I can't look right now into it. But we have seen cost reductions of, I would say, 30% at least for the resources that we used in copy. So one can see that in the report. And then there are a few more ideas. One is to move the concourse, or more precisely the clusters, Kubernetes clusters, on which concourse runs, to the US region. They are still in Europe and they have permanent, so long-living resources, so might be worse, but it's a bit, well, the pipelines will be dead for 1 day or something like that. Database has to be migrated, and we have to coordinate with the autoscaler team. What could be done? Alternatives for this would be to use GitHub Actions for CI, but it needs support for creating and destroying bubble environments, which I'm not aware of any activity here. And we could also plan to move to the central CFF concourse that was promised, but I don't know when this will show up. So there are some alternatives. We could also wait a bit more and then decide whether we want to invest and to do this move.
And just I just want to call out the GitHub actions aren't all or nothing necessarily. On routing, we've switched over our PR tests like to use GitHub actions instead of the Concourse PR resource, and that's helped a little bit, I think.
But do you need bubble environments for your?
We just run unit tests
Okay, yeah, then it's
against the
easy.
PRs. But I'm just saying like some of those could be options.
Yeah. I think we
Yeah,
have also
but
for our unit tests GitHub actions, but for the integration tests not.
But unless it scales down our Concourse workers or whatever, then it won't really cause any savings if we only move some tests over.
Yeah, I think it goes hand in hand with the shared concourse, where I'm just imagine once we're all on that, then the workers will be pretty loaded.
Oh yeah, and the tests become unstable. We had that on the ARI concourse, so we had to scale out. So yeah, so maybe the better savings is to move it in a cheaper region and then say this is what we can do. Oh no. Yeah, and one more idea. What we could do is to destroy the CF deployment on failing tests. We had such a case recently, and at least in the current copy pipeline, when a test fails, then the bubble environment where it failed will stay, and then actually it turns from a short-lived into a long-lived environment if there's a weekend in between or something like that. So here the idea is to simply destroy CF anyway. That makes debugging maybe a bit harder. You have to reproduce it if it's not clear from the logs. We could also try to download the logs from Bosch and put them in a blob for analysis. Again, it helps too.
So I started to work on that. The pull request is ready. That deletes the CF deployment in a Concourse ensure block. Yeah, the debugging is of course harder, and what we do in CF deployment, or when the update releases pipeline fails, then we upload all the Bosch logs to a bucket for later inspection for other teams in particular. Do you think this makes sense, or it's too much effort?
I mean, we can ask around whether people actually use the pipeline environments for debugging after the run, but my guess is that strategy should be fine.
Yeah, so PR is open. We can ask in the copy channel for concerns and then go forward. We can also keep it simple at the moment, and if then we run into problems, we can add the log fetching and see how it goes.
Yeah, my guess without any actual evidence is that probably the first step is rerun it, and then the second step is try to reproduce it in your environment.
Yeah, I guess so.
But maybe some people have different workflows.
Yeah, and just another data point, like I broke cats and like broke like every environment, and then I was surprised that the locks were just like hanging out, and I didn't know I had to go and manually destroy all the environments. So like I would have been pleased if it had cleaned up after itself.
Okay, then yeah, we go for this.
But in your specific case, it was helpful that the environments were still there, so I could check the cloud controller logs and easily find the problem.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's fair. I ran off of you just pinging me the log, so.
Yeah. Okay, so if you have some opinions on log saving or not, then please post in the channel, and then we can copy the approach from one of the other pipelines.
Okay. Yeah, that's basically what we have on our plate regarding costs. Then just for information, the Open Service Broker API repos now moved from the Open Service Broker API GitHub organization into the Cloud Foundry organization, and they belong now to the copy area. So that's all done. Then there is this RFC for service credential binding rotation for applications, open for comments. Yes, there is already lots of discussion, so that's great. Yeah. Do you have some special points want to bring up or should discuss? So on the first feedback, especially by Greg, I like the idea of doing it a bit smaller now and maybe keep the Open Service Broker API 2.17 enhancements out of scope for now and do it later once Cloud Controller supports it, because otherwise we implement now something which we don't use and maybe do it wrong. So that would then mean that we won't have this extra endpoint for duplicating a binding, but instead you would have to provide all information again. But you can create a duplicated binding, and that's it. Puts a bit more effort on consumers like CFCLI. Maybe not now, because all the information is available. If I look at the standard CFCLI commands and what they fetch from the Cloud Controller. But if one day we update to the 2.17 version of binding rotation, then there are probably some, you have to find out whether you want to rotate whether via the old way or with the newly rotation functionality that may be supported by brokers, but first, we need this new Open Service Broker API version and Cloud Controller. And second, all the brokers need to support that. And usually, latest when it comes to brokers, this will never happen or will take ages until it is well supported. Yep, we will continue to collect feedback and then probably overhaul this RFC end of the week or beginning of next week, and then we can take the second round of discussion. But the feature itself is at least for SAP important, so we will drive this. Okay, the final, just a reminder, Chris and Rem already announced it, CF Day in Frankfurt approaches, and the CFP's deadline is end of this week. So if you want to have a talk at this event, just go ahead. I plan to propose something, either a workgroup update or something on V2 deprecation. Have not yet decided, but will do until end of this week. Okay, that was basically what I had in mind. Any additional points or something you want to discuss? If not, then I guess we can close the call and see you in 4 weeks.
Hey, thank you, everyone.
Okay.
See you.
then
Bye bye.
See you. Bye bye.